and welcome to a special postseason MLS playoff round one edition of the On the Capo Stand podcast. I am your host and therapist for the evening. My name is Ahmed Salim. Alongside me are two of our trio, David Valentin and Misael Rosa. John will be joining us shortly. How are you doing, gentlemen, on this fabulous Monday?
Yeah, Victory Monday. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk about this fantastic result.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So before we do that, a little bit of housekeeping stuff. So obviously we're in the playoffs, but the pride is not. They still have one more game, November 2nd, at 5 p.m. at Interco Stadium. They take on the Seattle Reign. And then November 8th is the first playoff game, I believe. And they will be playing at Interco Stadium, it looks like, against a TBD opponent. So
I
we
got a
wish them the
question.
best of
I
luck.
mean, a question about that. And it's bad on my part that I didn't do my homework. Is their format the same as mine?
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
ours. I
That's
don't know why I
actually a
said
good
mine.
question.
As ours,
I'm not sure. That's actually
like
a
best
really
out
good
of
question.
three, or how does that work? I don't know how it works over there.
I don't know. I will. You know what? I'll look into that and hopefully we can talk about it next during our next episode when we're talking about game two. All right. So on to the matter at hand. Yesterday, just a mere 26 hours ago at 755 West Church Street, we took on our friends to the north, Charlotte.
Yeah.
Came away with a win, like we hoped we'd win. Uh, thoughts, gentlemen? I'll save my thoughts for after you both go. So, who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Misael. Go first.
Um. Well, not much. We got the result. We wanted clean sheet. The guys, I think everybody, in my opinion, played pretty well. I like that Papi kept the lineup. I did want dunk in the start. Um, but other than that was just my opinion. But other than that, the boys did very well. Um, we took care of business, and yeah, I mean that's not much to say there. I mean, they handled it well.
David?
All right. My apologies to the audience because my co-pilot decided she didn't want to go to bed early tonight. So there you go. You guys got children. You know how it goes. First of all, I wanted to go, but unfortunately, I couldn't. Obviously, baby's a factor that is new in my life, and my wife said, well, if you take her, she's gonna be awake till 11 o'clock at night, and if you leave her with me, I gotta work tomorrow and all that. Yes, mama. So I decided to stay home and watch it. Our good friend Sergio Ruiz is the one in Spanish doing the narration of this fantastic series. He requested it. He's a Orlando City man through and through. I also got to see Miguel Gallardo in the 360 Spanish version. So it was good to see two people that love this club, that had produced for this club for many years. Still throwing the good vibes and always rooting for us. Um, One of the things that, to be honest with you, that I saw people were complaining was the empty seats. But I gotta say it, I watched every single one of the games that was played over the weekend, and there was empty seats. So I don't understand why people want to like crap on the empty seats. I have to say that for a lot of people, especially those folks that live outside of Metro Orlando, it's very difficult to say, hey, call off tomorrow, and come play the game, come watch the game, and screw your life and your job. I mean, come on, it's what it is. A lot of people watch from home, so the passion and the dedication to the club, it's not gone. It's just simply, hey, I have things that prevent me from being there. That said, another thing that I want to give a shout out to the guys of Soccer is Football, which is a podcast here in Orlando to Orlando City fans, both Argentinian. One of them grew up in Puerto Rico, and they're Orlando City fans, obviously. But their show is about football in general, South American football, and things like that. And they did a piece that we share on our social media where they are talking about this influencer, football influencer in Argentina, Davo, which is a kid that's still wet behind the ears, complaining about MLS and that we don't have fans in MLS and we don't have relegation in MLS. Uh, I would like to point out that the Argentinian first division doesn't have relegation. They're saying maybe next year, so a little bit hypocritical. One of the things I have to say, and our Argentinian audience will have to forgive me, is that he said that because people here don't like go beat up fans from another team, or don't feel that football is life or death, that they don't have passion. And I have to say that I am so proud every time foreigners who are visiting Orlando tell me, "Hey, I can't believe that people bring babies, people bring families to the stadium. That the both fan bases are mixed." I'm sorry. I'm a professional. I'm 48 years old. I'm a father. What do I get by beating up another football fan that is just there to root for their team? Oh, you
Yeah.
won. Good for you. Shake hands and that's it. I don't understand this idea that if we don't have flares in the audience, as you guys have seen, the guy that threw the flare at the Ruckus kids, it's already the federal government is going after him
Yeah,
for
he got you.
violation of the law of
Federal.
pyrotechnics
Did
against
you see that? It was federal, dude.
explosives.
Federal.
Yes, as a former aviation weapons technician, where I dealt with high explosives, pyrotechnics, and missiles. That's what I did in the Navy, so I can speak with authority on this. This guy is really, really, really. He's gonna do some serious time, 7 years minimum. And the fact that he almost he says that he hurt a kid. I mean, come on, people go there to have a good time. I don't want to deviate, but the fact is that our friends at Socrates Football, they just went after him, saying, "Hey, maybe what we have is a good thing. That
Yeah.
we can actually enjoy the football for what it is, entertainment." And I'm sorry that I'm going on such a tangent, but I think it's critical, that we say that, look, listen, I want to beat Atlanta as much as I want, but I was happy that they made the trip, and I shook hands with a lot of the fans surrounding me, and I just wish them well. It is what it is, man.
I love.
Michelle, I give you the microphone. To me, it is ridiculous when people accuse us of not having love for the sport just because we don't behave like Neanderthals. The to say that it's critical, because I'm very proud of not only our fan base, but everybody that supports MLS, because it's difficult, my friends. To get on an airplane, to fly several hours to go see your team is commendable. With that
I
said,
love when the opposing team is there. The fans.
absolutely, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to
Absolutely.
say that I love when the opposing fans are there. Like I like when they bring a whole section, and you're kind of like bantering back and forth. I mean, as long as it's all in good fun,
Respectful, yeah.
yeah, respectfully, like not Boca Juniors and River Plate people getting stabbed in the bathroom or something like that. But like as long as there's some respect, and I mean, I like it. I don't like when certain teams like they try to like, oh, if
Like
if
Miami when they
somebody's
tried to
trying to
attack
buy
our
tickets,
Kingston.
some
That
yeah, or somebody's trying to buy tickets from out of state, don't sell it to them and stuff like that. And it's just like, I mean, I get it as if like don't sell them tickets like to the wall because they're not allowed in there. But
right.
other than that, why they want to enjoy their team just like we enjoy ours. Like I would like to go to their stadium, so don't keep them out of ours. Remember that when we had that whole suspension thing with Atlanta,
Oh yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we couldn't go to their stadium, so then we were just like, so then we got salty. So then you can't come to ours, and it was like a whole season like that. And I was like, that's
Yeah, the
wild.
first three seasons was there was a lot of bad blood, but there was a lot of bad blood in the front offices, and but again, I just have to say um, that while I wasn't there, it was nice to see that a lot of Charlotte fans made the trip. I think I always, over the years, while I was very aggressive with people online, I have learned that we can be rivals for 90 minutes, and we can be friends for a lifetime. And I gotta tell you, I have learned a lot from the fan bases that I follow overseas, from Maccabi Haifa and Stevenage, where it's a gentleman's sport. We say whatever, but at the end of the game, safe travels, be good, take care. We'll see you next time in your house, or ours, whatever. And as an American, I was going into these discussion groups acting like an ass, and the people were like, "Yo, you gotta chill out because that's not how we do it." I mean, a lot of as Americans, we have to learn a lot from people that are doing it. And that's to me, that's the lesson here. I think I went off there for a second, guys. You
I
tell
think
me
I
where I
went
left
to
off.
I went
Just a
to
little bit.
Atlanta
That's all
and
right,
see,
man.
I went to
Okay,
Atlanta and seen
all
our
right, go
boys
ahead.
play there. And we went to Atlanta before, and I seen our boys play there. And I'll be honest, I sat, with amongst their fans, and they treated us with respect. They were sitting there talking to us and saying like, "Oh, you guys made the trip, and that's cool." You know what I'm saying? Like, we would like
That's
to go to
beautiful.
your stadium. Like, yeah, and it was nothing but respect. Of course, there's bad apples everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I make friends with people in the Atlanta fan base. I'm not afraid of saying that. Um, and but I think to go to the playoff format, if we can go to talk about that
Oh
for a
well,
second.
I don't know if Ahmed wanted to
What happened,
your
brother?
thoughts on the game. Well, I didn't want to see if
Oh
Ahmed
yeah,
had
yeah.
thoughts on the game.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
meant go ahead, brother.
No, no, that's okay. Before I do that, though, I know we have a bunch of people watching with us, and I did forget to mention it. So, for those of you who are watching with us, just as a reminder, we are live on Instagram. Well, we're on Instagram, X, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify as on the Capo Stand, and on YouTube at Davis Channel 76. So please give a like, follow, and subscribe so you can keep in touch with us. We are always open to and welcoming your comments. If you're ever interested in joining us on the show, please shoot us a message, and we'd love to have you join us. So yeah, we won the game. We won a game that we should. All right, and that's
Yeah,
not to take any credit away from Charlotte, but it's a game that, on paper, on every aspect, I thought it's a game we should have won. Um, but I have a problem with how we won. Right, it took us about 30 minutes to score a goal. Right, if we are to do anything other than stay within this first or second round, we cannot take 30 minutes to get our act straight. Right? There was,
not
you know,
versus Wednesday.
there was a lot that we did right, and you saw the hunger in the guys, right? But if we go, and I'm not jumping the gun, I was in the stadium talking with some people, and they were like, "Hey, are you going to go to the Miami game?" I'm like, "We still have to beat Charlotte
Yeah,
another time before we worry about Miami." I'm like, don't count your eggs before they're hatched, because I feel like the playoffs. I've always said this. I'm always one to say, treat every game like it's a playoff game. Well, we're in the playoffs, so that rule doesn't apply anymore. But it's like a new season, and the problem
Mhm.
is this is like payback time for everybody for all those things
Yeah.
that happened during the regular season. So don't underestimate somebody just because you beat Charlotte once. We can go there and get our asses handed to us if we're not careful. And everybody will be like, what happened? It can happen. So
They're opening up portions of the upper bowl because of the
th-
demand. That place is gonna be packed.
anything can happen during the playoffs. Like, honestly, unless you're Miami, in which case we already know the refs are going to help them out. Oh, that's a different story. But I'm saying for us, this round, worry one game at a time. And what I saw was great, but what I saw is not going to get us past this round. If we beat Charlotte
Absolutely.
and we get to that next stage against if,
Atlanta.
Miami,
Yeah,
Atlanta, right? Yeah, we cannot take 30 minutes to score a goal. We can't take 30 minutes to score a goal,
Oh
because
god.
you know what? We scored that one goal, and you were there, Misael. Tell me you weren't nervous that they weren't going to tie it.
Oh yeah, of course.
Hell yeah. Right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was not a one-sided game. Charlotte was fighting up a storm. So
yes.
it
A-
you
a-
know there has to be something like that clicks. It's like we can't play like this and expect to get through all the way
I mean,
because you're not.
I
every
watched the
game we're up
game.
a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
If we
ahead.
beat
Mhm.
Charlotte and we're up against in my and if Miami beats Atlanta and we're up against Miami, you think playing like that we're gonna beat Miami? I got
No,
news for you. That isn't gonna happen because
I watched
the
the
last two
game.
games we had with them, we tied. That felt like a loss, and they weren't at 100% because they didn't have their magic potion over there. And then
Right.
the one before it, that is the one we want to forget in the beginning of the season. They scored on us in
Oof.
like the fourth minute. The
Yep.
Yeah.
fourth minute was their first goal. So what are
And I
we gonna
gotta
do
tell
now?
you, I watched the game between Atlanta and Miami, and Atlanta played. Listen,
Man,
they're our rival, and I already have consider them a rival. They're a bulky team because until we consistently can beat them, we can't call ourselves a rival.
I was
Atlanta
cheering for
went
them that
down.
night. I was cheering for
Run
them
up
that
for
night.
sure. I was, that fan base needs to be proud of what they did.
Yes.
That club went down to Miami to their house, jam packed, right, with Messi, because God forbid the fan base in that club are reminded that Messi is not the club. The club is called Inter Miami. You never hear anything about Inter Miami. Never hear anything about the other 11 men or 10 men on the pitch. It's just Messi, Messi, Messi. Sad and pathetic. But the Brad Guzan, who has already announced that he's going to retire,
He's in
the
form.
game of his lifetime, and
That
how many
man
Top
times?
form.
was ruining Messi's night. Let me tell you.
Thibaut
Messi
Courtois.
after that when he went home Messi that night, he was cursing up his for that freaking guy. Bro.
Nightmares
Right
of
when
Guzan.
Brad Guzan emptied his pockets, Messi was in him. And I'll finish with this. They played the game was decided by a moment of brilliance, which is what I have told you guys when we
Yep.
play Miami. If we play Miami, that we have to score. Miami's not gonna give us the forgiveness that Charlotte gave us. We hit the post. We missed by an inch. This and that. What happens is we played with high intensity, and then we were gassed. And we obviously we had our one moment of brilliance by Angulo. To me, probably one of the best goals and best assists that you will ever see for Orlando City in a very long time. And we had our moment of luck
Yeah.
where the ball fell on Facundo Torres and he was able to score. But at the end of the day, guys, the fact of the matter is that if you look at Atlanta, no DPs, Rob Valentino, my heart goes out to him. He deserves to be a head coach, a manager of a club. He cannot be just on the silence. This man is doing miracles. He went down to Miami and almost pulled it off. And to finish, I just don't see us, excuse me, with that intensity, because when we played Charlotte, we were in front of our fans and we were doing what has worked in the past, and that's all great and cool. But we're gonna go to Charlotte. They already had sold as of Sunday night 40,000 tickets. They
Oof.
can fill that. They can fill that place to 70,000, and if we win, who's waiting for us? A packed dry pink stadium or whatever they call it now, with Messi and company and friends. It's in tall order. I want to remind everybody we have not scored a goal against Atlanta. I'm sorry, against Miami since last year, and so far this season we have failed. We just basically ate 5 goals, and
Yeah.
and guys, it's in tall order basically.
Yeah.
One of my
Yeah. No,
one of my worries is that, sorry, go ahead, man.
no, go. You're good.
No, one of my worries is that the second round doesn't start till November 23rd, I think. I feel like it's
Yeah.
like a lot of time off. And I get it. They're counting for, if the series go all 3 games and stuff, but if we beat Charlotte this Friday, I mean, we have to wait at least till the 23rd. The second round starts the 23rd. That doesn't mean that we're going to play on the 23rd. I don't know how they're going to do that, but you know how we are, man, when we have a lot of time off.
Mm-hmm.
We always come
I
back like
know.
stagnant,
I
and
know, man.
that's what really worries me.
Yeah. It's just we
I gotta tell
can't.
you guys this.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you guys this. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the format that we have right now with the playoffs. if David Valentine could rule the world for one day, I will go back to top six made the playoffs and single
Yeah,
elimination. So
yeah.
you gotta make the playoffs a carnage. You gotta make it a carnage. You got it has to be the otherwise the season means nothing. And I'm sorry, guys, dragging the playoffs all the way till December, people are like, forget. Like if your team is not in it, you check out. And if your
Yeah.
team is in it, it's hard to get the enthusiasm when 3 or 4 weeks have gone by. And mind you, that there's gonna be FIFA windows in between, and then players are gonna go to play with their national teams. God forbid people get hurt. I mean, the league needs to be like it used to be. We roll the dice in March. We go full blown all the way till September. October is playoffs. We crown the champion early November, and then we'll wait till next year. You cannot risk losing your audience by the fact that now you got sports. You have the NFL, the NHL, the ECHL, the IHL, the WNBA. You have all these leagues stealing your audience. And in Orlando, now the Orlando city is competing with the Pride, is competing with the Solar Bears, is competing with UCF, is competing with the Magic, is competing with the NFL. And that perhaps is the reason why you have empty seats on a playoff game, because people have to choose. We were playing at the same time the Solar Bears were playing. Do you think the Solar Bears probably took away some of those fans? Perhaps. So
That was a
it's
home
something
opener.
that we have
Yeah.
to contend.
Yeah. We have some comments. Misael, can you read them as I pop them up for you?
Jeffrey O. No one from Orlando City traveled to Paris.
That's because today was the Ballon d'Or, and Rodri was the recipient. And then he goes on to say,
uh, Angulo
Not to
really
say not
stepped
to
up.
say that they tried to give it to Messi for something, for some reason.
I'm guessing that means Angulo really
"Yeah,
stepped up. He impressed a lot of fans. Oh
let
yeah.
me tell you, I was telling my son, I'm like, I think if Angulo runs any faster, his cleats are gonna catch on fire. That guy was all over the place.
He went cross country on that one
Yeah,
play or two
he
times,
went.
one or two
That guy
times
was like, "You
to help
ain't
on
getting by
defense.
past my goal, bro." I was like, "Holy crap! Look at him go!" Him and Ramiro. Ramiro was like fire
And
on
then
fire
don't
too.
forget Torres too. When Torres is speeding, when he tilts his head, I'm like,
He
he's
puts his
going
head
really
up.
fast. You, you
He
know,
just puts.
and this fan base, guys, speed is crack. Because
Yeah,
if you guys remember the people that people remember fondly, Adrian Venter, Mohamed Al Munir, Juan, who else? Will Johnson. This fan base loves speed. Angulo, who was the man of the match, rightfully so. That assist, because at first I was like, oh, what's his name?
I think Facundo won man of the
Martino
match.
Ojeda, he's gonna let it go. Was that?
Didn't Facundo win player of the match?
yes,
No,
yes,
was it?
yeah.
Okay.
So
When
Yeah.
I was watching in Spanish, they said that it was that it was Angulo. The announcers sort of like picked the
Yeah.
man of the match.
yeah, no, no, no.
And by the
He
way, also Rodrigo Schlegel had a great game.
yeah,
Fantastic defensively. Ramiro Enrique the same. I mean, but in that play where you know Martino Ojeda goes, okay, well, if I touch is dead, and I was like, okay, it's over. And then you see Angulo just his nickname in Spanish is El Rayo, the lightning,
The lightning
and
bolt. Yeah.
I tell you what, guys, impressive, 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 impressive. And the guy played almost all full 90 and looked like he could have gone another 12 minutes.
yeah.
Insanity.
It was.
The Go ahead.
Yeah, no, no. It was, and that's why I was saying it because I mean everybody was putting in an amazing effort. It's just the two of them just really stood out as far as their physicality, the physical piece. But I think also, David, to your point, yeah, Torres was the man of the match because he broke Kyle Laren's single season goal of the 18
Yeah.
goals, right?
Oh, for
So
sure. Yeah,
he's
I'll tell you what.
probably
The
the
day
man.
we start putting statues outside of the stadium, Facundo Torres is gonna get his.
After the lion that everybody's
Right,
asking
right. Yeah, yeah, I know. But you know,
Yeah, we
like
still haven't got our
if
line.
we want to be a real club and we want to exploit that all that land that we owe, where the church used to be,
yeah.
that should be a place where we're gonna put up the statues of our heroes. And I think Facundo Torres, the kid from Peñarol, the kid from Montevideo, Uruguay, has earned it. I'm telling you, has earned it. I'm gonna say something that is gonna be very controversial for a lot of people. I don't want him to go. He when he was interviewed, he said he was very comfortable here, that he makes a lot of money, that his wife and his daughter are happy here. His parents, his in-laws, they come visit, they love it. So
Yeah.
why not? Yeah, Europe is great, but is Orlando better than Stoke on a Tuesday rainy night? I don't think so. No offense to Stoke.
I don't want him to go either, but I'll be the prick and say if he wanted to, he can't because he has no right foot.
And it can't
Right,
wait till
but you
the
know
summer.
what?
It can't wait till the summer to find it.
It's
Find his
summer
other
Faku, yeah.
Yeah, the Summer of
that's
Faku. By the way,
Oh, yeah.
for those that forgot, Misael is the one that said we need to start printing the T-shirts. The Summer of Faku is a fact, and I want to throw a shout out to the guys that came up with that banner. Faku round, find out,
yeah.
beautiful,
Yeah. We got a couple
gorgeous.
more
I think
comments,
it
guys.
was I was sitting with you on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
got a
Go
couple
ahead.
more comments. Here we go. Go ahead, Misael.
Serve Nash. Good evening to have a chance against Miami. Wait, did I read that right? Yeah, to have a
Yeah,
chance against Miami, we must score 3, 4 goals, and Enrique had to score in those two situations in the first 20 minutes. Yeah.
absolutely. We can't
Mhm.
those misses that we had can't be misses against Miami
Yeah.
because
Before this,
otherwise we're gonna pay
before
for
we.
it, and we
Mhm.
don't want it to come down to the ref because you know how that's gonna go.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. That before this episode started, we were talking about that how
Yeah.
we don't want to leave it up to the refs, and honestly, it's just one of those teams where we end up playing Miami. We're gonna have to just outscore them to the point where the refs they just
Yep.
can't do anything about it.
Because bad
That's
calls are gonna happen all the time.
yeah. Like I'm not. I don't like to blame the refs and stuff like that. And what I mean when I bring when in my opinion when I bring the ref up saying like that situations like this, I mean in reference of against Miami, it is gonna be any little ticky tack. Hey, John.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, against Miami, any little ticky tack foul and stuff like that, they're gonna get those calls. So it's one of those where I think we just really have to outscore them, and
Yeah.
just don't let the refs, don't leave it in the refs' hands.
It can't be. It can't be because the last time we played them at home, that's exactly what happened. All those fouls, dude. There was no way half that stuff should have gone unnoted. But
And the
whatever.
other thing there to touch on Serge, yeah, the Enrique. That's why I was saying I wanted Duncan to start, even though I guess contradicting he didn't score either. But that's one of the reasons why I wanted Duncan to start because I felt like Enrique lately, um, hasn't been the same. I mean, he had that nice big stretch, but that's why I wanted Duncan to start. But either way, um, I don't know. I guess Friday's and another day.
Yeah, absolutely. Jim D. Hey Jim, thanks for watching. Go ahead.
Yeah, this format is trash. Way too many matches. Way too spread out. However, the match last night was great to be at.
I agree. I agree. It would be nice if it was quicker, man. I mean, I think before last year, it was just a single match per round. I think, if I'm not mistaken. So it would be nice to potentially go back to that. And we have Johnny Ridner says, "Good evening, boys. Hope all's well. Thank you for watching, Johnny." And then Jim D says, "Had a Charlotte fan sitting next to us. He asked who is 77. This guy is everywhere."
Duro, baby.
Literally, he was.
Yeah.
He was. I was
Yeah,
just like, where'd he come from?
yeah. I would.
It's like,
I
Hey,
hold
would.
on.
Yeah.
one thing funny, number 77, a number always associated to the Orlando City legend Jamie Watson, who was a speedster. After that, there was a kid in OCB, that was from Pennsylvania. I can't remember his name right now. Another speedster. And so 77 in this club is always associated with people that that have rockets for feet. And one clarification before John gives us his input. Um, when we started in the league between 2015 and 2018, it was top six that will go, and it was aggregate. You will play home and
Yes.
away, whoever scored the most goals, which I think it's cutthroat if you do it that way, because it's not enough to win. You have to get goals, which for us it would have been very hard. And then in 2019 they went to the seven who make playoffs, and with the number one having a bye the first week, and it was a single elimination, which by the way it's my preferred method.
Hmm.
And then they changed it to the wild card game, which by the way the wild card game now counts as playoffs, because I was trying to correct somebody that like, no, they changed it. If you go to the wild card game, it's still playoffs. So now, out of 15 teams, 9 make the playoffs. That's outrageous.
That's
Go
It's
why
ahead,
a
guys.
money grab, bro.
that's
It's a
why
money
Atlanta
grab.
was celebrating like they won the Super Bowl when they beat us the other day.
For real.
Yeah, go ahead, John. If
Yeah. So John, what are your thoughts on a lot of things on the game? Let's start with
A
with
lot
with
of things.
yesterday.
I'm a very opinionated
oh
individual.
yeah, get in here, get in here.
No, the match. I thought the overall the atmosphere was great. For not even being close to a sellout. I didn't see how many they actually announced, but I thought the atmosphere was great. The wall was loud. For one, for
Yes,
one first
they
time in a
definitely
very
were. You're
long
right. They
time.
were for sure.
And then as far as the play on the field, I mean, it was kind of, I feel, a give and take. It was like um, once the boys showed that they were in the match, that they wanted to be there, the crowd showed they wanted to be there. And, and once the supporters picked it up a little bit, the boys seemed to pick it up, and it was kind of a little back and forth to where, I felt that the team really grew into the match well and played very well, throughout the match. Even when we went up 2 goals, we didn't really give Charlotte much opportunity to score. We held possession very well, I thought. And, we it very well should and could have been 3-4-5-0 Orlando, because we were that threatening, especially there late in the first half. And overall, it was a fun game, fun match to be at. Sad it's probably the last home match, unless a lot of things go our way over the next 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks even. So yeah, I mean, I hate this format. This is the most anti-soccer format that you can think of, having a best of three. That's either got to be one and done, or since it is a you know league tournament, you could make a case for home and away and be aggregate, and I think it would be much better. I'm actually on the opposite opinion of what David said. I actually enjoyed the home and away on aggregate. I don't think they should do away goals like they do for the the
Champions
Champions
League.
Cup.
Yeah.
But I love the home and away aspect of it, and then the final being a one match deal, because there's a lot to be said about playing away, especially in the sport where the home fans can provide a lot of motivation, a lot of intimidation. And that was one thing I did want to bring up, is the wall 100% got into Charlotte's head with the people that were training yesterday uh, during the match, the substitutes. I've never seen a softer group of professional athletes warming up, because they were some very, very soft individuals. And we got in their head, and the boys brought it home. The boys played a good match, and got one of their guys to get a red card, and don't think that's going to be rescinded with appeal either, because that was pretty blatant. Unless you see it in slow mo, which one of the accounts in X was like, "Is this really a red card?" If you play it in full time, it's 100 per, in full speed, it's 100% a red card. He kicked out at Janssen. I don't care if some Charlotte fans were trying to say Janssen was trying to, the Orlando City defender was trying to step on him. Well, did he? No. Your guy's the one that kicked up. That's an instant red card. So it was a very good time, very not very fun match to be at, and let's hope we get another home one in the second or second round or in the conference finals.
Yeah, it was
That's
a lot
been
more.
one of their.
Yeah, we'll need a Thanksgiving miracle.
I was saying it was a
We'll need
lot
a
more fun to
Thanksgiving
be
miracle
at
for
than the
that.
Atlanta game.
Say it
No,
again,
for
Ahmed?
sure. And talking about Atlanta,
Oh,
I said it was a lot
talking
more
about
fun to
Atlanta,
be at than the Atlanta game. That's all.
yeah.
no, for
Okay.
sure. And talking about Atlanta, I'm gonna say something that needs to be said. I thought that I'm not into conspiracy theories or whatever, but I thought that having Atlanta play us on a Saturday, then them playing on a Tuesday, and then playing on a Friday was uncomfortable, and basically you're setting up Atlanta to fail. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And if that was us or that was on any other team, the league says, hey, we are here to make it fair. We're not here to take sides. But how convenient that the team that is number one gets to play a team that is completely gassed.
David,
And
David, David.
they almost go ahead, brother.
When did the league ever say they were there to make things fair? They've never said that, especially since Messi arrived in the league. And then actions speak louder than words. We all know they're not there to make it fair. So of course, I do want to go back because you had mentioned the Atlanta match. That handball was actually on Duncan was actually the correct one. There's something in the rule book that says if the player's not making his body bigger and it hits his arm or a place that can be labeled handling the ball, and it leads that player shoots it on goal and scores, it is considered a handball. But either way, it was set up. They wanted Atlanta to get in because they wanted before Miami, Atlanta was the league sweetheart team. They wanted Atlanta to get in because they knew if Atlanta got in, they'd be dog tired for Friday and wouldn't win. I know the league office was sitting on pins and needles in that game because Atlanta had several chances to pull ahead and to tie it up. But David, I mean, the league's to get back what I was saying. The league's not there to make things fair. They're there to make things as easy on the Inter Barcelona retirement community of Fort Lauderdale as they can.
Absolutely.
By the way, our game, they said it was 17,787.
I could believe that. That's actually one of the more realistic announced numbers that they've given this year.
Unlike the Atlanta game.
Sold out.
You know what? But honestly, I think David mentioned it before about the seats. Early in the playoffs, the majority of the people, nobody's interested in the beginning of the playoffs. They're only interested. It's like the last few games. So unless you're like a diehard fan, the
The
average
best of
person
three.
isn't going to want to be there for the whole thing.
The best of three thing is killing it.
It's like nobody wants to watch game 1 of the World Series. They want to watch game 7. Nobody wants to watch the beginning of the Final Four. They want to watch the last games. It's like people want the exciting part. And unless you're like a diehard fan like us, then that's a different story. So even the US Open Cup, when we won, I went to every single US Open match that year. The first ones, they were empty. Like empty.
Yeah.
Like you
Oh,
couldn't
yeah.
like I could scream and you'd be like, where is everybody?
Well, I mean, part of that though,
Half the
Matt,
stadium
has
was
to do,
closed.
especially with the Open
Yeah.
Cup, and even with the playoff match. I mean, how much advertising did you hear or see about it?
Well, that's what I was just about to say, John. That what bothers me, like David said, it doesn't bother me that some people didn't show up because I do get the whole Sunday night thing and people work the next day. I get all that. What bothers me is what you were just saying right there is that I felt like for the last game of the season, which I get, you want to get people there too, but I feel like they did more advertising for that and it was, quote unquote sold out. And like the playoff game, it's like you barely heard anything.
Yeah.
And it's just so
Yeah,
weird.
they
Like,
did
it's just,
that reverse car wash or whatever they called it. And then they
yeah,
did
it's
On a
drinks.
Friday at what time? Like
Yeah.
11 o'clock? Like what? I have nothing going on at Friday in the middle of the day.
Make it a whole thing. Like, I don't understand why they didn't, like, it's a Sunday. A lot of, young people or people without kids are out, go out on the town Sunday for brunch with their friends and such. I mean, unless it's changed in the last 5-6 years, which was really the last time I've been downtown for a brunch, was right before, it was the year before COVID, so 5 years. Downtown's crawling with people till 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe even later, that are doing brunch stuff. Why not do an event? Do a pub crawl, do the reverse car wash. Right there in where Main Street is. Do the reverse car wash from 2 to 4, something like that, and then break it down and then set up Main Street and just have it flow right in and be like, hey, the first, X amount of cars, first 50 cars get 2 tickets to the match, or, first, whatever it is. I mean, to get attendance and to distribute tickets, can be rocket science, but I feel like something like this, especially a town like Orlando where people are constantly looking for stuff to do, should be you should easily be able to find people to purchase or at least give away the tickets, because like we've said on here before,
give them
and I'm
away.
sure, what's that?
I was just about to say the same thing. Give some of them away.
Yeah. And, because I mean, it's like, and I know Jared knows this because they give away a bunch of tickets and the front office knows this, that you give the tickets away, people are going to, end up spending a little bit more in the stadium. So you're making money anyway.
Mm-hmm.
John, if I can interrupt you for a minute.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my friend. The first tickets that I had in the city were comp tickets given to Orlando Health employees. My first tickets were free. And here I am, 14 years later, and we're gonna talk about the important date that happened this past week. 14 years later, I'm still here. Podcasting, season ticket. Die hard Orlando City. Half of my wardrobe is purple. All that happened because my wife, as an employee, got free tickets. And I have said it before. How my yes, say it. For those in audio, that's Ivy Valentin getting in the conversation. So the fact is that my overseas clubs, they tend to go to schools, give free like 2 tickets, so the kid can bring a parent or something. The idea is, and we have said it before. Listen, end of the year, let's have an end of the year activity, something like that. Solar Bears, I don't know if they still do, but they used to just like walk around town and give tickets to people. One of my issues with Orlando City is that they need to understand that not every single fan lives in Orange County, or at least in Metro Orlando. There's a lot of folks that drive up to an hour to come see us, from the coast and from inland, and we have to. Yeah, mama. We have to, remember, like, hey, Joe Blow, who lives in Melbourne, which is an hour from, has to go to work at 5:30 in the morning. That's not the guy that is going to be in the terraces going all out for 2.5 hours. It's just not going to happen. And we have to understand we are a regional club. Yes, it's Orlando City, but it's people like me live within the city limits of Orlando. Great, I can go to every event that I want to. But when they did the magnet as a celebration in Lake Eola, who in their right mind is going to fight traffic to go to downtown to get a magnet? No one. So while that's beautiful, and a lot of people got the chance to interact with our players and all that, great. The fact of the matter is that what was successful was when we had a bye few years back in 2019, and they closed the stadium, and all the fan base could come and get signatures from the players and pictures from the players. And we heard from our manager, and the kids were like decorating the terraces with chalk. That was beautiful. In fact, I went to that event with my family and with our good friend Tom from Bolton, England, and we had a great time. It was a time where most of the friends that I met that day, because rather than showing up to just root for the boys, we had the opportunity to sit down and talk. How do you find out about Orlando City? What do you do for a living? Blah, blah, blah. Most of the friends that I have are from that. So the club needs to understand that we have to have events that motivate the fan base to talk to one another and also to talk to the fans. I loved getting stuff signed. Guess what? This year it hasn't happened because after the games, they cordon off the tunnel in They tell people like me, suckers like me, that spend 5 grand a year on this club in merch, in tickets, in events. Oh no, you can't approach this player because you didn't buy a ticket in the tunnel. Come on, it's ridiculous. It infuriates me.
Well, and
Infuriates me. But
even on that note, David, I mean,
You
I
don't sound
remember,
infuriated. It's
no, no, this is me. This me at a 5.5. I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
and I was going to bring this up tonight anyway, is what happened to our players? Yeah, cool. They do the little thing at the end of the match. If we win, they come over and do the little cheer, and then they all walk away and go back to the tunnel. Used to, and I understand not every match and not every player is going to want to do it, and a lot of our players have kids and such. But rarely, unless a little kid has a sign, does any of the players come up to the wall and do anything, sign any autographs, take pictures, come up and show the wall some support. It's especially yet last night, it's probably your last home match of the season. Come and show the wall a little more love than the little cheer you did from, 30 feet away from where you're at in the center. Come, a couple players, run down the line, sign autographs, take some pictures, and call it a night. But no, nobody did that. It really hit me the wrong way that they didn't. I kind of expected them to, and nobody did that. And it's like, I don't know what's going on with the inner workings of the club and what's told to these players, but if we weren't there in the stands, there wouldn't be a team. You guys wouldn't have jobs. You'd be somewhere else. So, you got to show love to the fans. Tour Rep 1, I just saw it pop up just because it kind of proves my point. Yeah, he gave his gloves to one of the kids that made a flag or a sign for him, and that's the only time any love shown to anybody in the supporter section is when somebody holds a sign up, which is another debate for another day.
Well, now that you said that real quick, that fan appreciation day the other day, that they kept doing that little bell ringing and they kept giving away stuff. I didn't see nothing given away to anyone in the supporter section.
Nope, nobody, because
And
it's a cheap
maybe I
seat.
sound biased because I'm in there, but my thing is, it's like it's called the supporter section. Shouldn't at least one person there get something? Like, I'm not saying that the other fans don't count, but this is called the supporter section. Like, you're not going to give not one thing away to anybody in there. Like, I just thought that was wild.
No, you weren't the only one that noticed that. Me and several other people I heard around me say things like, "Oh, of course it's the expensive ticket, rich seats or whatever." Because most of the winners were in the lower bowl, right around midfield, and there were a couple that were up higher, but they weren't in the supporter section. And I understand that the supporter section is hard because there is no specific ticket, so you don't know exactly. Somebody could.
You're like section 24. Everybody moves to section 24.
But someone said that while I was there. Someone mentioned that. Well, it's probably harder doing the wall. But when I saw people that were winning the stuff, getting the giveaway stuff, they already had it with them, like when they showed them on the screen. So I mean, there's no excuse to pick somebody in the supporter section and tell them, "Hey, go by the steps." So
what were the gifts?
Stand out more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just felt like it was.
They were like tickets to matches, tickets to Disney, signed jerseys. That's after a while I stopped paying attention.
Somebody got a whole PlayStation 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They were giving away some
like,
games also. They were giving away like the FIFA, the new FIFA game, a bunch of stuff like that.
It was a Disney annual pass.
Listen, crazy. I personally never won anything. I'm the unluckiest person, but my wife and my kids. Hold on, Monica. My wife and my kids are the luckiest people. The last time anybody in my family won anything big, quick story, we went to the Hanukkah party at the South Orlando Chabad, and I apologize for the background noise. And my son won our Oculus. My youngest son won our Oculus. And I couldn't believe it. The rabbi went and gave us the gift, and I was just telling him, I said, this is a true Hanukkah miracle, because we never win anything, and my kids still have it. But I was infuriated, like you guys, they're giving away this stuff, My section, the whole southern section of the stadium, we didn't get anything. So I don't know what they are doing or they're using as a parameter to pick the people that were getting the gifts. But I have to say, when those gifts go to people that pay for the expensive tickets, sort of like it feels like the club is just pandering. But I'm not gonna accuse anybody of doing anything. I hope that the fans that want stuff enjoy their stuff
Oh
and all
yeah.
that. And like you guys already mentioned, I was so sad because I knew it deep in my heart that this is probably the last opportunity to go to the stadium
Hmm.
until next year. And I love going to the stadium. It's like a second home to me. I love going to the games, and I think I think that the club needs to understand that the fans don't ask for for much. If the fan base we are a microcosm of the fan base. We're all from different backgrounds. We grew up in differently, and we're friends because the unites us is the glue that keeps us together. And I have to say, listen, all I ask, and I know that listening to us in the front office, it's super obvious, and that's fine, that's cool. I know that a lot of people don't like the fact that you do, but hey, thank you for taking the time to listen to to these four bums for 90 minutes every week. I want to have access to the practice facility. We did it in 2020. Right now, between my wedding day and the birth of my children, it's up there with like one of the greatest days ever. When we went to the facility, I met Oscar, I met all the guys, OCB, Ricardo Moreira, Luis Musi. I was in Planet Nine at that. And the other thing is to allow us to get access to the players so they can sign. In the past, we have done the Publix, we have done the Metro PCS, and I tell you what, yeah, Ahmed knows. Last year, I made it to 9 of those appearances, and it was just incredible. I love it. I love to tell the players, I love you, man. I love what you do. Please give us more of that. We're not asking for much. We're not asking for much. I think that I will forego the crappy gift that you all have been giving the season ticket holders.
You
That
don't want
so
it? Come
that is so
on, man.
bad.
You know
That
you
is so
want the
bad that
gift.
a lot of people like don't even pick him up. I know John. John. I don't know. I don't think you picked up your
No, I
sister.
when I saw it, I said I'm not wasting my time. They can have it. If the
Listen,
club's doing that bad financially that they can't reward their season ticket members with at least a halfway decent trinket of a gift, and you're going to give somebody that buys 2 tickets to 6 matches a whole drinkware set. You guys can have the money, keep it, return it. I don't need it. And I
listen.
mean,
It was so
we've harped
bad.
on that. We've harped on it, since the beginning of the season. Why most, I won't say everyone because I don't, I'm sure there's those out there, but
Just because I
nearly
love it.
every Orlando ticket member, Orlando City season ticket member drinks alcohol. And last year, if you guys remember, right around the holidays, they came out, and if you buy this 6 pack of tickets,
Hmm.
you get this nice engraved, just
Oh,
two rocks glasses.
You
Give
couldn't
me
buy
that
them.
for a gift. I would be I would not stop talking about it in a positive light. I would be over the moon. I even thought, because of how cool those glasses were, of dropping the money and getting the 6 pack and then selling the tickets and getting that gift,
Yeah.
because
I'm
I
with you.
knew deep in my heart, I was hopeful. I trusted the club that they were going to do something nice for us. We were told last year that the member gifts were going to be nice, continue to get nicer. And then they were, if any, they weren't better.
I
And if
gone worse
anything,
on
worse
the
than
Welsh.
John, you know
I'm
the
what?
sorry to
year
say.
prior.
They do that all the time though, because like even this season, there was a one night that it was. I don't remember what night it was, and my daughter said, "Hey, Dad, can you
Latin
get
night.
me?" No, it wasn't the Hispanic Heritage Night. There was another night, and my daughter that goes to UF, she started like playing pickleball, right? So she's like, "Oh, Dad, they have a night where if they're giving away
The
paddles."
pickleball
I'm like,
racket. Yeah.
"Cool." I'm like, "All right, let me know." And I $50 for a ticket to get a paddle, and it was Orlando City. I'm like, we should be like, come on, like to your point. It's like I shouldn't have to buy tickets. I called the rep. I'm like, is there any way I can get the paddle? I mean, I have enough tickets, like for real. Like, come on.
Do you guys remember for Latin night they were giving away like Orlando City merch? I think it was like a baseball cap, and they had like different flags from different countries. I wanted one so bad,
So did I.
but you
I
had
remember.
to like buy this other stuff. Like as a season ticket holder, and you know what? John knows. I'm not making this up, guys. Go ahead, man.
No, I've been talking a lot with people, non ticket holders, about season tickets, right? And it's like having season tickets to, I don't know, the Bucks, the Jets, the Giants is a big deal. Why? Because if you don't have those seats, you can't get good seats. But you know what happens if you don't
Right.
have season tickets for Orlando City? Somebody can go out tomorrow for Friday's match. That's our next match. Well, whenever, like, they could have gone out
Mhm.
and bought seats right next to mine, which I have season tickets. So what's the perk about having season tickets? Right. So they try to make it seem like it's exclusive. And it is. There's some level of like 15% on merch, but do something to make you to really give you value for that exclusivity. Right.
I'm glad you're
Give
bringing
me
that up, my friend. I'm glad that you're bringing that
for
up
real.
because
I've been
I'm not
talking
making
about it
this
with
up.
so many people because people want. I'm like, I tell people, I'm like, this is great, you got to come, but in
That's for the
reality, they could just go
21
buy tickets
members.
the day before and get the same seats as a season ticket holder.
And
What's
I
the
have
big
a
deal in that?
witness. Wait, I have a witness. I mean, when John and I ran into Jared Dillon at the OCB game, and Jared knows who I am, obviously because of interactions in the past. And he was super approachable, super nice. He listened. John knows this. He listened to my gripes and complaints and this and that and the other. And I know that he has made requests from the fans a reality. So it's not an attack on Jared,
No, no,
who I
no.
think is a fantastic individual. But one of the things that we said to him in the focus groups that he had, which I requested that he revisit that this coming up season to see where we are from where he started and now. And one of the things is you have to make being a season ticket holder special. Right now, the only difference between us and regular fans is we know where we're gonna sit every single time. And one of the things that to me it's and I even told him, I said, look, my team Stevenage, they, one year they had a jersey exclusive for season ticket holders with all their names on the jersey. I thought that was fantastic. Maccabi Haifa, they will have like hospitality. They will give food. They will give items that are specific for the season ticket holder. Like you show up, there's a particular scarf or a shirt or socks or whatever, something that is critical in specific to the season ticket holder. Why can we do that here? Why can't we do, which by the way, Maccabi Haifa and Stevenage, their tickets are dirt cheap. For 300 pounds in England, have season tickets for Stevenage. 300 pounds, and they get all sorts of things. They get 44 no, I'm sorry, they get 22 home games plus the FA Cup and all this other stuff. Why can't we have the same thing here? I think, to be honest with you, that a lot of people that decide to drop out is because they get frustrated with the on the field success. Jesus.
Yeah. Which,
Few
I,
dollars.
I,
That's
I,
all it cost.
what, what,
That was the big. I was excited when I saw them, and then when we went over because they didn't give them out in the supporter section, God forbid. I don't know
Wait a
if you
minute. Wait,
saw
hold
them,
on a
David.
second, John. You guys
Okay.
did not get any?
Well,
You didn't
we
get
ended up
any.
getting them because we had to go to another gate and get them
Oh,
because
I
they weren't
got you.
giving them out in the supporter section.
Ah,
But
come
have
on.
you
They were
seen those,
afraid you
David? Have
guys
you
were
heard
gonna
about
throw them onto the pitch. Come
well,
on,
two
John.
pieces, two pieces, two lights where I was in the support section did end up in the field.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Which there's a bad apple always somewhere, But my
Yeah.
disappointment with
Well,
those things is it's not necessarily those things. My disappointment is like in baseball and stuff like that. Everybody gets the rally towels and stuff. Why is it just the first 5,000 fans? Why don't you give one out? Let everybody get
You
one
know
so
how
the
much
whole
these
place
things
lights
cost? You
up
know what
purple.
they
That's what I'm saying.
should
It can't
do?
cost that much.
You know what
Like
they should
let
do?
everybody get
There
it.
should
So it's
be.
like, kind of like an intimidation factor type of thing or something. Like they're only 5,000 or something like that. It's like why?
There should be one on every seat.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Like
You walk up to your
I don't get
seat
the
and
whole
it's
fight. Like,
there.
stop being so cheap. Like,
It's
And
like the
also,
Heat, like
I want to
for
say
instance,
this, guys.
Miami Heat down in Miami for their playoffs. Every playoff game, every seat in that stadium has a shirt. Now I'm pretty sure it's just like a men's large or whatever, which would look like a crop
yeah,
top on me.
I can't fit that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I can't fit
but
that either.
still, every seat over the back of the seat has a white shirt that says, typically white hot,
Yeah.
2024 NBA playoffs or whatever. It has a specific round on it. Why can't the club, maybe not even t-shirts, do the rally towels like they did last year?
Mm-hmm.
Do those like they did, but
Oh,
have
beautiful, beautiful touch.
every seat has a cup holder on the back of it. Put it in that.
Yeah.
Those things cost
I,
what, $2 a piece to
Or
produce?
or here's another
I want to
idea.
ask this question, guys. Why is it that we always operate on the assumption that people on the wall are gonna throw things at the pitch?
I don't
I'm
know. That's
sorry, guys.
that's what they
You know,
think.
and
Ever
let me tell
since
you something. There's
ever since the
animals
Cup
out there.
game.
You know, that happened a long time ago, and I think a lot of our people, most of the crap that fell on the pitch came from other places other than the wall. Let's
Yep.
be honest.
The
Mm-hmm.
majority
And
of it did, David. The majority.
right, the majority of it, we have learned. And the frustration was because of what's happened on the pitch, et cetera, et cetera. The point is that if we are going, when I go to the stadium and I'm gonna go in on the wall, which is not often. I am treated like like an animal. Like, oh, you're here to like look for an opportunity to hurt people, and I'm all for security. I'm all for, but also you have to trust the fan base, especially the supporter groups, that they can police themselves. I think people are adults. We have we already seen the situation with the flare. Again, we cannot in the sense that, oh, we are not going to give you this because it's a weapon, because the only portion of the stadium where you cannot buy a drink and take the original can or whatever
Mm-hmm.
with
Mm-hmm.
you is the wall. You have to empty that on a cup.
And if they're
You guys
so
know
worried about the supporter section throwing stuff on the pitch, do what a lot of other new MLS stadiums that have supporter sections that are based off of ours do. Put a netting up. Look at almost everyone. Europe doesn't because you're not allowed, or England doesn't because you're not allowed to bring drinks in the stands. But a lot of them have like some sort of fencing or netting in front of the supporter section.
That would actually be cool too, so you don't have to worry
that.
about the ball
Cincinnati
speeding
has
away.
that.
Cincinnati
By the
has
way.
that, and I believe Nashville has that as well.
Yeah, but you know what? Going back to the whole thing with the season tickets, you really want to give me something? How about saying you have a season ticket holder, you don't have to pay for the playoffs? How about saying you're a season ticket holder? If we make it into a tournament, you get like the first however many rounds, if not the whole thing. Now you're talking. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's like, no,
they
you're
give
a
you like
season ticket
they give
holder.
us they give us the first game of the League's Cup, right?
Yeah, yeah. But I'm saying like
Ooh,
playoffs.
Yeah, I know
Playoffs.
it's not a big deal. I'm just saying that's what they do.
Yeah. They're giving us that because nobody wants it because they need to fill the seats. So you know what I mean? No, like stuff like that. It's like if we're in a tournament, those are included if you're a season ticket holder. Now you got my attention. It's like, no,
Really
here
quick,
it's
I'm
like,
sorry.
oh, you're a season ticket holder. Unless you opt out, we automatically charge you for your seats. What? That's
Yeah.
that what? No.
That happened to me, my friends.
Re-
I have such a I'm sorry, Miss Ella. In a second. I with my busy life, I forgot. I ended up being charged that I couldn't use. I tried to sell them. Nobody took them. That to me is sort of like taking advantage of the season ticket holder. I'm sorry, but go ahead, Miss Ella.
No, I
Wait,
just
what
wanted to
did
say there was some comments that we didn't. I think we didn't read. I don't want to.
Well, go ahead, brother.
I don't want
If
them
you
to
caught
feel
him,
left
go ahead.
out.
let's see. Oh wow, yeah, there were a few.
Yeah.
Okay, so Serge Nash said, did we read this one already? Get rid of Leagues Cup, bring back the US Cup back, and US Open Cup
Amen.
schedule will be just
Amen.
perfect. from your
Amen.
mouth, man. From your mouth. And then Jim D said, last night's match had two blatant handballs with no call. Classic PRO pro.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Miami and ATL, big market teams, and Grabber will do anything to put more money in his pocket. Absolutely.
For sure.
Since day one, MLS Daytona area never had an advertisement of any kind, and I think that was leading up to the
Well,
playoff match.
thank you, Serge, for bringing that up. before we continue, this is something I have said before, and I'm sorry for being repetitive. I have traveled 60 of the 67 counties in our state. My job takes me all over the state, and I have to tell you that we have zero advertising in Jacksonville, in Daytona, in Flagler County, in Gainesville, in Ocala, in Tampa. We are not penetrating markets within reasonable distance. I have a lot of people who are season ticket holders uh, all the way into North Florida that made the trek every week to go see the Lions. And we have to, recognize the fact that the club, as outside of Seminole, Orange, and Osceola, does not do advertising, and that's the detrimental. You want to be a big player, you want to be a club that people will root for. Invest money on reaching out to the counties
Yeah,
around our city. That's it.
I
you're
I
100.
work I work deep in Apopka, and the other day on my way to work, I saw a billboard of the pulpo, and I was kind of surprised because there hasn't been anything, on this side.
Oh
And
yeah.
Wow.
when I was going to work, yeah, there was a billboard of the pulpo, and I was like, whoa, like finally, like something.
Yeah, I was in Jacksonville early last season, the end of last season. It was like in January, February sometime. And I was trying to find my son had a game up there, and I'm like, all right, let's try to watch the Orlando City game. Could not find a place to watch it. Ended up watching it on my phone in the lobby of the hotel.
Because
Like,
it's
come on,
Jacksonville.
man.
The Jacksonville, what was it called? That team, Armenia. What was it called?
Armada.
Armada. Yeah,
Yeah,
they don't want
yeah,
to play
man.
Yeah, the Jacksonville
it.
Armada, yeah.
Yeah. All right, then we have
No, but I
two
mean,
left.
in all honesty, we have to get advertising. People will get behind. Listen, if people see the product that we saw last night, people will come.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, people will come. Even when we have lost, I have been told by tourists from Europe, this was a good night. This was money well spent. It's fun. I'm gonna come back.
Yeah.
I personally have taken at least six Steven H fans to the stadium, and they all tell me this is great football. Mind you, these are guys that have Arsenal a 30-minute drive from their houses. They have in town, and they're telling me they had more fun at our WWE style league than in the EPL. We have
Well,
something
I mean,
good, but people don't come support it because they don't know it's there. It's useless. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah.
think about how many people, we have our friends from, I'll say, especially the UK, that plan their entire vacation to the United States, to Orlando, around when does Orlando City have home matches?
Tom is one of those guys.
Tom is one of those guys, and I know several others that have reached out to me to see if, to see like, hey, do you know, like, I'm not going to name names, but one of them is from, I believe, from Scotland. He said, "Hey, me and the wife are going to be in Orlando for the Miami match. Do you know of
Was it
any way to get tickets?" What?
at the TCC? Was it the guy that I met at the TCC
No,
tailgate?
no. That
I
was
love.
somebody else.
Never
I
mind.
mean, I mean, I love sports in general, and when I go out of state, wherever I'm going, I do look for a sporting event. This past Fourth of July, I'm an Atlanta Braves fan. My brother's Philadelphia Phillies, and Fourth of July, we went to Atlanta to watch them play because I haven't been to the new Atlanta Stadium, and I
Mhm.
literally looked to see if Atlanta United was playing, and I said, "Screw it! If they're playing somebody else, I'll just go sit there and watch the game
Yeah, yeah, I love it.
because I just love sports, and so I don't
Same here.
care." But they
Same here.
weren't in town, but I do that. I always, my vacations, I centralize it around sports. Like I'll see what's going on, and then I'll do whatever else.
But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I know mine and David's point is, especially my point is that there's no excuse for a Saturday night, just a random Saturday night home match during the season in July, that place isn't elbow to elbow packed, and we all can attest to it that there hasn't been one of those this season. Even the one 2 weeks ago against Atlanta that they claimed was sold out,
Yeah.
there was not 20,000 people in that stadium.
Maybe the tickets were
So
sold, but people
Yeah,
didn't
the
yeah,
show.
no
Yeah, tickets
turnstile. Yeah.
sold, brothers. Tickets sold. Listen,
but
Oh,
we have to
and the
get the
fact
fan
that we
base
can't even sell out a
excited.
home playoff matches, the lack of advertising, like we were saying, was was not that there was no advertising that I saw
And
out
John,
unless you
also is the
followed them
best
on
out of
social media.
three. Where's excitement in that? Is it
Yeah,
like
but you know what it
like I
is
mentioned,
though.
But my thing
the
was that
seventh game.
it could possibly be the last home game of the year, and that's what kind of got me
Yeah.
down. Where it's like, how is this
Right.
place not packed? Like, is it the people not understanding that it can be the last game, or the team
I
not
think
doing
it's
enough?
people's
Like,
responsibilities because the Orlando City fan. Listen, if our audience is an indicative of the Orlando City fan base, we have a lot of family people, man.
hmm
Wait, I have a question. How long ago did we know that we were in the playoffs? Let me just because I have a point to make. How long
Over
ago
Three
did
weeks.
we know?
a
3 weeks.
Three
weeks.
weeks,
Yeah.
okay? So I got and my the reason I'm saying this is because I think the team is trying to wait at the last minute to see if people will buy the tickets. Because my son, as you all know, plays for Orlando City Youth Soccer. He plays at the soccer schools. I'm on their mailing lists. I got messages from 4 different schools the same day about discounted tickets for the playoff match, which is, by the way, very important. You know when I got that? Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, come
Wednesday.
on now.
Well, and to
Wednesday
make the
the
point,
23rd. So guess what? You knew for 3 weeks, but you didn't send it. You know why? Because you're trying to wait to see
yeah,
how much money you can get to sell
yeah,
the tickets. Why
but
are
to
you doing that? When you
even
know
make
that people are not going to fill the stadium for the playoff, they already know that the stadium's not going to be packed for round one of the playoffs. They know that. So why wait till Wednesday to start pushing it when you
Mhm.
knew 3 weeks out that we were going to be playing? I'm just
Well,
saying.
and I mean, just the overall marketing of the club. There's been a guy that lives that I was talking to. He just recently started working, and we were talking about sports on Friday, and he said that he's a little bit older than I am, but he said he played soccer growing up. I'm like, oh, have you checked out Orlando City? And he's like, no, I mean, I know they're there, but I don't know when their matches are. When's their season? The guy's lived here for 11, 12 years. He's went to almost every sporting event, sporting team Central Florida has. He's been to a hockey game, been to a Magic game, been to UCF events, sporting events. But he's like, I don't ever know when Orlando City is. I
John
look
is the same. My surgeon, the guy that performed my surgery, he sees my Orlando City blanket, and he's like, do you like those guys? I never been because I'm more of a EP, and because of my excitement, he gave it a chance, and he went to a couple of games. Of course, the first game that he went to was the one that we blew against Columbus and all that. But the fact is that you know this club grows because of us, the fan base, because it's not for marketing. It's not because of marketing. I'm sorry. I don't see commercials on TV. I don't see commercials on YouTube. I don't see commercials anywhere. I mean, you have to get these people excited. And when the Magic, the few times I've been in the playoffs, they make a huge deal. It's like, play the song and everybody, going crazy. But, where was that excitement for us? Outside from the channels, the accounts of the club, I did not see them reaching out for the casuals.
well, I
And
think
one of
now
the
with
things that I have seen
The Apple
for
TV,
sure,
we're
remember,
definitely not going to get commercials now.
no, that's the thing. Well, all the playoff games on Apple TV. They're free. You know how I found out? Because our good friend Sergio mentioned it on the broadcast. I haven't seen like on social media or in like Facebook or whatever saying, "Hey, come and check us out. Maybe if you like what you see, you will decide to pay for it next year."
Yeah, on the
Nothing.
MLS
Uh,
app, it says the game that we had the other day was free on Apple TV and it was on
right.
FS1 as well. But I went on the app today because someone asked me for game two now on Friday, and it doesn't say anything about FS1 or free.
Now you got to
It
Okay.
pay
just
for
So
said
there you
Apple
Apple
TV
go.
to watch
TV.
it. Now you got to
So
pay for Apple TV.
yeah, so I don't know if
That's
game two they're
insane.
going to do the same. But the game one, if you go on the
Listen,
MLS app, if you scroll back now, you can see it's still on there.
listen. For $2,000, MLS in Orlando City, you can hire us on the Capo stand, and we'll revolutionize your marketing strategies. I'm telling you right now, give me 2 grand and I will make you millions. But and not us, every podcast out there for every club, it's harpers on the same thing. One of the things that I told our English friend a while back, is that regardless of the club you support, the MLS fan is part-time preacher, part-time evangelist, part-time pioneer, trailblazer, because we have to go out there and promote the league on our own dime and of our own volition. The club and the league do a very piss poor job, and then they complain, oh, how come we're not doing this? How come we're not doing that? Because the league thought, oh, we're gonna put Messi. I'm gonna tell you the truth. The people outside of the United States, they're not paying $100 to watch Messi. All they do is they follow and for the highlights on YouTube, and they watch that. That's what they do. They watch that. Look at everything that is Inter Miami has hundreds of thousands of people. Those people are not watching those games. They're watching the highlights. So I hope that that you make money out of it. But the way I see it is, if you're gonna put your product behind a paywall and you're gonna make it difficult for the people to find your product, and the existing fan base that you have, you're gonna treat us like we're stealing your money and your time and your efforts, then this is where we're gonna be. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm not an MLS fan. I'm an Orlando City fan. If I started following Orlando City in USL, and if Orlando City tomorrow moves to the Bushwhacker League, I'm gonna go there. You know what I'm saying? That's me, because I want to support a club that it represents my city. And honestly, nothing's gonna change until Don Garber and all these other people kick the bucket or they move on. Whatever happens first, because the reality is that as fans, we keep saying the same things over and over. Guys, Friday 7:30 in Charlotte at Bank of America Stadium, we are going to hopefully close our series with Charlotte expectations as we head up north to the Carolinas.
We need a shutout,
Yeah.
and we can't miss any opportunities. It has to be a let me dig the hole for you, put it in, and cover you, because anything else, we're not getting past that. If we don't see that this coming round, this coming game, I don't know what anybody else thinks is going to happen after that. That's it.
Me, I'll keep it short. I just think I just don't see them. I don't know where the goals are coming from them. Their best as of recent, their best attacking midfielder, the one that got the red. How do you say his name? Pep Bill, however you say his name.
Feel,
He's not
feel,
even
I
going to
think.
be there. Um, so with the red card, so I honestly, I'm pretty confident in the win. Yeah, that's about it. Just go out there and win it.
Yep, we
What do
got
you think?
half the nails in the coffin already. Might as well tap the rest of them in. Just like Ahmed said, there's no reason for us to go out and absolutely dominate, put a bunch of goals in the back of the net, give some of the young guys a chance to go out there late in the second half and knock some of the rust off to get ready for deep playoff run where they may be needed.
And I would like to add this. This past week was an important part of our club history. On the 25th, we celebrate when two Englishmen showed up to this town, did a little press conference saying, "Hey, we're gonna have a new football club in the USL representing Orlando." And you know, I am glad that they chose to bring that greatness to Orlando. Ahmed, if you have the video, I believe they posted it on Instagram. It's important that we remember where we come from and where we've been, and I'm glad they did. I'm glad they did. We have something good now to cheer for. I'm a USL guy era, and I can enough to Adrian Heath, Kay Rollins, and her then husband, Phil Rollins, who believed in this project, brought the club to Orlando, and after that we managed to get to MLS. Plenty of moments. I can't thank you enough. Football. I love the game of football, and having a club that I can cheer for here in my hometown. It's something that we should be proud of. And again, Bill not bought. Bill not bought. Don't forget that.
While Ahmed's looking for that, I do think there was 2 comments that we didn't get to at the end from Tor Rep. Did we get to this one, Miss Al? I think Serge Nash
Uh,
just kind of took the steam and we ran with it with
oh
Martin.
yeah, nah, yeah. The Chief seats don't get love. That was when we were talking about the giveaways
Yeah.
and stuff like that. He also says, which is odd because it's a supporter section that is always there. Yep, the same thing about the giveaways. Yeah, agree.
And I mean, all of this, a lot of people say, "Oh, you guys were extremely negative after a playoff win," and this all just comes from passion for the club and wanting to see the club be successful and succeed and live past our lifetimes because it does mean that much to us. And we want to see the club succeed, and it's something that we constantly talk about. And I hope this next year when the season begins and they come out with the season ticket member gifts that they blow our socks off. But the last 6-7 years, it hasn't. We haven't been given much to hope for because you're on mute, David.
Mute. We can't hear you. You're on mute.
Thank you, my brother. Sorry about that. Like I said, and if you want a podcast that talks about tactics and talks about things like that, there's certainly we are not done. We're just 4 fans that love the club, and we're having the same conversation we would have had with adult beverages around tailgate. And if you enjoy that, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad. And again, if you want tactical expertise, we're not in. We're not in. And we could be that, but the fact is that those shows tend to cure people's insomnia, and we don't want to do that. Where else can you find a show with a baby screaming? And I mean, we're just that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind bringing up other stuff too because the other day, and don't get me wrong, I was happy that we won. Of course, I love my team, but the other day at the game yesterday, somebody that I know, I'm in the wall, but they were standing in the aisle behind me, and when we scored the second goal, he taps me on the shoulder. He goes, "Hey, you're not excited?" Because I wasn't like going crazy. And I said, "Yeah, I am excited that we got the goal and that we're winning, 2-0." But I said, honestly, we've been here already. And this is a team that we're supposed to beat. So I'm like, yes, I am excited, but I'm not gonna go wild here and start throwing beer everywhere and start, jumping up and down and hugging the whole wall. I mean, and that's no knock to anybody that's doing that. I'm just saying, me personally, it's just I was just like, dude, we've been here. I want to see more. We got to get past
Absolutely.
these guys and
This
just
is
see
the
more
expectation.
competition. Yeah,
This is the
exactly. We
expectation.
we expect this. So like
We
that's
beat
why I don't mind
Miami,
bringing
guys.
up other topics. Oh yeah,
We beat
we beat Miami.
Miami.
If we end up
I'm gonna be
advancing and we beat
insufferable.
Miami, yeah, that then he'll see me go
If
insane.
my social media goes dark, is because it doesn't ban me already. It's gonna ban me. I'm gonna be insufferable. I'm just warning you guys that I'm gonna be. I listen. They say in a scene war nobody dies. I'm just letting you know. If we
Oh
beat
wow.
Miami, they should thank God that I don't have Twitter anymore. That's all I'm gonna say.
What was that? The comment that was there.
Let me pull it back up. There you go. You can read it myself.
Torup again. Someone told me we are expecting too much from the Wilfs. They
Are not.
okay. They are not sports team owners. They are developers that own sports teams. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Yeah. I mean,
I
my
think I
thing
found
was when we got them was the whole Vikings thing that they don't do much there. So I just felt like it was going to be the same thing here.
I think I found the
Uh,
video we were talking about,
okay,
gents.
yeah, it's
Was
on.
it the,
It's on Instagram, and it's
was the
first
first
up is the
one?
picture, and then there's the video.
Yeah. Is this it? Can you see
Let's
my
go.
screen?
Let's go ahead and watch that, and with that, we'll close the show.
October the 25th, 2010 was a date to remember in Orlando history. Phil Rawlings and the USL announced an expansion franchise to the city of Orlando.
One of the primary reasons we selected Orlando is because the investors and the owners of the club believe it has the potential to be a major league soccer marketplace in the not too distant future. So MLS is very much in our side.
Just months later, the Lions would step onto the field for the first time in their inaugural home opener versus FC New York, jump-starting their on-field success. That success would be capped off on September the 3rd, 2011, before 11,220 fans, many of them witnessing the Lions for their first time. The match became an instant classic, resulting in the victory after penalty kicks. Best of all, the Lions won their way into the hearts of fans who experienced the sport for the very first time.
Win it for Orlando. He does. The Lions are team to win.
And I was you saw there Orlando City legend Sean Kelly, who won that game for us. Sean Kelly, wherever you are, my friend, I hope that God continues to bless you because you made a fan out of me that night. And as you can see, in October 2010, we were sold a bag of goods. A lot of people believed that this club was going to die and almost did in its first season. But here we are, 14 years later. Again, I wanna thank the Rollins family and Adrian Heath and all the staff that made that season possible because you guys laid the foundation for this, and this fan will never forget that. So it's important that we fight to lift that MLS trophy because of men and women who have worked for this club to make us where we are today. So that's my message to you guys.
4 more wins, and that's it.
All right, final words, guys. Final words.
Just win, and hopefully, if we win on Friday, I'm hoping those massive long break here. We stay warm, we practice, we keep up with what we got to keep up with to face Atlanta.
I see what you did there. Maybe I hope it happens. So, John.
I just want us to show up. Want the boys to show up Friday with the same attitude that they showed up with on Sunday, on last night, and just keep the pressure up and keep going. Carry the momentum from last night into the second round, and then just hope that like Misael said, hope the break doesn't kill us between matches.
Yes, I think they just need to sink their teeth into it.
Yeah,
and really go for it.
Maybe probably one of the worst slogans for playoffs, but I love you, Orlando.
I was so glad somebody posted it on the Facebook, one of the Facebook groups. They posted it and they were like, "Who thought of this?" And I was like, "Don't get me started."
They're having a watch party on Friday.
Yes, there's a watch party.
Social bar. And the first, I don't know how many season ticket holders that go there, they're going to give them an all teeth scarf.
Oh, don't even
tempting.
That should be.
Can I get away with telling my wife that I want to go to an event? I don't know.
Without the watch party, it should be included. It was like
no,
a $50 scarf on the OC Mobile shoppers. Was it the scarf that was $50 or the T-shirt? It was something crazy.
The T-shirt.
It's usually the T-shirt, which is outrageous for a T-shirt.
$50, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and real quick, guys, because I know we have to go. I want to apologize to the audience. We had some technical issues uploading the audio version of the show. I finally figured it out. We posted the last episode on Thursday, I believe. So right after this show, we'll definitely have that. I just I unite myself to the guys. I hope that Friday we bring on the heat. We go to Charlotte and we send them away with a hard-fought lesson that you gotta come prepared. And then after that, like Misael said, play against Atlanta hopefully and show them a good time. So thank you very much for the people that watched us live, and the people that are gonna watch us later, and the people that are gonna listen to us later. Thank you very much. Whatever we do here is for you guys to give you a platform and to give you an opportunity to, talk about Orlando City, our obsession.
Thank you too, Toro. Thank you for all the comments.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. So we are going to leave you, reminding you the only way we know how that football is played on grass, not on paper. That football is cruel and unpredictable. That football's a pound of talent and an ounce of luck. And if you haven't cried for joy or anger over football, have you really footballed? For Misael, John, David, and myself, may God bless you. And as always, vamos, Orlando!